Hey there, it's BoardGameDave. Have you ever been in a group of people that don't play board games, maybe like a family get-together, and you're sitting there wishing there was a game you could teach them that's fun and doesn't take too long and is easy to learn and plays up to, let's say, 8 players? Well, I've got the exact game you're looking for. It's called Incan Gold or Diamant. I've played this game with so many different people in so many different places, and it's always been a hit. In fact, it's my second most played game in my collection. Incan Gold is a simple but surprisingly fun push-your-luck game which you can teach in 5 minutes and play in about 15. Push-your-luck games are sort of like blackjack. You start with 2 crummy cards, so you hit for another card. That looks a little better, but you're pretty sure you could still take another card, so you hit. Unfortunately, that card doesn't help much either, and you know you're playing with fire, but you hit one more time, and you bust and you lose all of your chips. That's more or less how Incan Gold works, except that you're competing with everyone around the table for these gems. There's bluffing and sabotage and schadenfreude when the player who's been getting impossibly lucky makes one too many cocky moves and loses all of their gems. It's so good. So let's take a look at how this game works. In this game, players are adventurers exploring this Incan temple ruin in the hopes of finding precious gems as well as rare artifacts. But treasure hunting isn't without its hazards. Each player begins with a meeple and a tent, and the game starts by flipping one card from the top of this deck. There are blue cards that provide gems, in this case 13 gems, so each player who's still inside the ruins gets 13 gems divided by 5, so 2 each, and the remaining 3 get placed on that card. After each card, all players are going to put their meeples inside their hands, and we're going to count down. 3, 2, 1, go. If players keep the meeple inside their hands, that means they want to stay in the ruins and explore further. If a player drops, that means they're leaving the ruins and going back to their tent and taking their gems with them. Why would they want to do that? Well, we'll see that in just a second. Next, Next, we have this scary mummy lady. Okay, in this card, there are 15 blue cards which provide gems, and there are 15 hazard cards. Okay, there are 5 different types of hazards and 3 of each card. Okay, if at any point there is a match of hazard cards, okay, so that means 2 mummies, 2 fires, 2 spiders out here in front of the players, that means all of the gems in front of that player go away for that round. They've busted, right? Then we move on to the next round. So the only way to guarantee that you're going to keep these gems is by leaving the ruins, taking your gems with you into your tent. The cool thing is that when you drop, you also split any of the gems left over between you and anybody else who may have dropped. Let's say at this point, right, we say 3, 2, 1, go, and red player and blue player are feeling very cautious, and they both drop, okay? That means we'll split 2 for the red player, 2 for the blue player, and they're gonna leave the ruins, put the gems inside their tents, and they're out for this round, okay? What's really cool is that now orange and yellow and green are gonna split any gems that show up by 3 instead of 5. Okay? So these 7 gems are going to go 2, 2, and 1 left over. You're probably getting the idea by this point. Okay? 3, 2, 1, go. They all stay in. Here comes a snake. Okay? Getting a little bit risky here. 3, 2, 1, go. They all stay in. Here's another one. Now, this is one of those rare artifacts that we talk about. This is worth 5 points at the end of the game. But the catch is the next person who leaves the ruins by themselves gets to take the artifact. So let's say all 3 players now are starting to think, ooh, this is a good time to leave. There's 2 hazards out and there's this artifact, right? But they have to leave alone. So all 3 players pick up their meeples and we say 3, 2, 1, go. And let's say the green player and the yellow player dropped at the same time. Well, they can't split that 1 gem, so they just take their 5 gems into their tents, and unfortunately you can't split the artifact. So green player's out, yellow player's out, and only the orange player remains. Okay? Because he stayed in, we flip another card. Those 9 gems go right to the orange player. We're going to give him some obsidian as well as his turquoise this time, because that stands for 5. Okay? He's feeling pretty confident. He says, let's go again. 3, 2, 1, go. 17, that is monstrous. Okay? He gets 10. He gets 5. He gets 2, and you'll notice that all these gems are going straight to the orange player because he doesn't have to split with anybody. Now, of course, he could leave right now, 3, 2, 1, go, and take that artifact, right? An additional 5 points, plus, I don't know, we've got about 30 gems there. That would be a pretty smart idea, but orange player says, no, I'm gonna stay on one more, 3, 2, 1, go. Falling rocks, that's not bad. There still hasn't been a match. Orange player has gotten unbelievably cocky. He thinks he's never gonna bust. 3, 2, 1, go. Another card, and it's the mummy. Mummy here, mummy here. There is a match, which means the orange player loses all of those gems and is back to 0 gems in their tent. We do that 4 more times. Okay, there's 4 more rounds, and each time we'll add a higher cost value artifact to this deck. At the end of the game, we count up all of our gems as well as any artifacts that we have. The player with the most points is the winner. And that's Incan Gold. Like I said, it's a fantastic game that's really fun, easy to learn, and doesn't take too long to play. The gems feel nice, the meeples and tents are fun and thematic, and the cards have held up surprisingly well over almost 100 plays. It's extremely approachable, so you can teach this game to kids, adults, grandparents, anybody. The theme really comes through in this game too, because there's that element of splitting up the gems as you come across them, but then backstabbing everybody else as you run off with that rare artifact. The rules are intuitive and easy to learn, although you typically have to remind players how the artifacts work, and the game is so short and suspenseful that you want to play it again and again. Right now you can get the game for about $20, which is a great price for a small box that packs a whole lot of fun. Oh, I should point out that while the box says 3 to 8 players, there's a really simple way to play this game with just 2 players, and that's for each player to independently control 2 meeples at once. I can't seem to find that variant anywhere on BGG, but it's uncanny how well it works for 2 players. Just throwing that out there. By the way, I mentioned that Incan Gold is the 2nd most played game in my collection. I'm currently working on a playlist in which I highlight the most played games I own, my board game MVPs. You can check out that playlist here. And in the comments, I'd love to know what the most played game in your collection is. Let me know if you get a chance. In the meantime, have a wonderful week, take care, and happy gaming. Bye. There's bluffing and sabotage and schadenfreude and schadenfreude and schadenfreude and schadenfreude. There's bluffing and oh boy. Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude.